This can kind of show you where I'm going. This is where we left off last week. And this is just light layers of these Graphitint pencils, which I'm just loving more and more. Added some little bits and bobs around in between, and I'll do more of that over here. How much time did I spend? I don't know. I spent several days, little bits here and there adding to it. So I really, maybe I spent, let's say 3 hours total. But it was in little chunks here and there, so it wasn't an all-out sketchbook assault. Just doing it while I can, when I can, in between other activities. So let's see how far I can get in an hour on this other page. Now, I had just started working on the background with ocean blue, and I'm just lightly doing some hatching. Not sure how I'm going to do it around this fern other than getting in all those little nooks and crannies. I do want to do a little bit inside here. It's the other side of, just everything showing through the far side of this fishbowl type aquarium or terrarium. I have one across the room. It's upside down, covering up a little plant that I got called String of Frogs, which I absolutely love. A little ficus vine, and it is too adorable for words. I find when I'm doing this, if I get too long, then I'm not happy with the way it looks. So too long with my strokes. I just kind of keep them short. What I can do right there, just that long, like that. And that's the look that works for me. I struggled with it for a while, and I finally came to the conclusion I was trying to cover too much page at once, and I would get a much better result if I just shortened up, slowed down, took my time, enjoyed the process, all that good stuff. All right, I think that's enough. I'm going to break out the water brush and start mushing that around. One thing I really like about these pencils is how well they melt into the water, especially on these initial washes. Of course, if you wanted to keep more of this sketchy look, maybe that's not going to be as big of a plus for you, but I found, and I just struggle with that a little bit in the later layers, where I find it obliterates the streaks. So just at that point, I just work with it. I think it's more of a benefit to the way I work than a detriment. Sometimes I find this water brush is too wet. On days like today, it's not wet enough. I keep having to give it a little squeeze to encourage it to let out more water. I think part of that is, this comes off, and if it comes a little loose sometimes as I'm handling it, and so when that comes loose, it allows the water to flow more freely, and then I end up flooding. I think if I just keep an eye on that, it'll work more consistently for me. Well, there we go. So there's the first blue wash down there. Let's grab, this is the Meadow color, and I love this. It's a very bright yellow green, like you see in that. A lot brighter. It melts or liquefies, whatever, dissolves. There's probably a better word. A lot brighter than it first goes on. It's kind of funny. You see how kind of, well, it's just, it's definitely green, but it's not very bright. It'll end up being a lot brighter. You'll see here in a minute. And I think I've shown it before, so maybe you're like, yeah, I've seen this. But in case you haven't, hang on, we'll get there in a minute. Trying to leave kind of a white or lighter area around the edge. Something over here, what can I do? Oh, I know. I had a thought, where's the purple? Where's the aubergine, which is, I think, one of the purples I use. What if little old Moody was hanging out in there? There we go. I think I'm gonna make it like that moss is going up behind him. Go ahead and do the green too. Not necessarily something you do in this sort of terrarium setup, but hey, this is my sketchbook, so it's all about play. Reading on those. I don't think I'm going to do it underneath the fern fronds, just to give me a different sort of green. This is in here. Let me come down here, you can see, look how bright. It's like, it's kind of a grello chartreusey looking, kind of crazy. And I haven't found that any of the others are that dramatic once you apply water. So something about this pigment combination, maybe? I do not know. I might get the bigger. That's the tiny one. I want the bigger. Beauty's gonna get a bit obliterated here. That's okay. We will bring it back in the end. I'm going to get back out the ocean blue and apply some darker values around this edge. Although things are still a little damp, so you can see it really changes the way it makes the marks when you do it on top of wet paper or even damp paper. Now I want to do also, not at the perfect angle to do this, but not the perfect angle for you to view this. So I'm going to leave it right here. I've noticed on these, glass containers, so this dark kind of base, and it's just the way the glass reflects the light, refracts the light, whatever. So you'll have that dark, and adding that really helps make it read properly, as a glass container. So it enhances that illusion. Emphasize the outline here. This kind of helps, makes it pop a little. This is probably going to be the last one in the sketchbook series. It kind of happened by accident. So let me know, down in the comments, leave me a comment. What did you think about this? Did you learn anything? Did it inspire you in any way? That's my big goal, is to inspire you to spend some time creating some art in some way, even if it's not in like a sketchbook, right? A napkin, a piece of paper, something. Make marks on paper and enjoy the process. If that's not your jam, how's the weather? We're having a beautiful, sunny, if quite cold day here. I woke up to 11 degrees this morning. I actually love it. So yeah, I'm loving that the snow is sticking around. My chickens, however, are not loving it so much. That's a spread I should do. Should do a spread about my chickens or chicken shaped things. My chickens are really dark feathered, like almost completely black. So not too exciting color-wise, although they do have some beautiful iridescence in their feathers. I just do chickens, not necessarily the ones I have. Their Moody's kind of coming back. Oh, they're not looking too transparent at the moment. This color is called slate green. I'm not doing the leaves right, and that what I was doing is not going to give me the look I want. I do want to have that kind of rabbit's foot fern look. I don't have my rabbit's foot fern in here. I should have brought it in. All those tiny leaves, just how to draw that without drawing that. No, I do that, turn that into some sort of plant, but I don't know what. Make some fern looking shaped thingies over here. Just gonna do some negative shaping there for the moss in front. Something similar here, but I really don't know what that is. Some kind of leafy thing, something like that. All right, let's get out the water brush. I'm gonna work smart this time and start on the right side. I usually forget and then drag my left hand through it. I just had a thought, if that was a rabbit's foot fern, which it really doesn't look like it, I realize, but that's okay. If it were, it would have those wonderful fuzzy spider leg-like roots, which of course makes it totally unsuitable for a terrarium of this size, but again, we're in my sketchbook. It can do anything it wants. Yeah, fill in some of those whites. So I'm wondering, what if there was, some root-like shapes? Something like that. Trying to keep them really loose. I'm gonna do some more brown in here so they look, right now they look kind of too disconnected to me. Maybe that one comes down from there. Darken that base a little, there we go. That's coming along nicely, I think. We're at the halfway mark, so yeah. Another question, if you don't mind, what could be the next series I do with this? Is there something you're curious about as far as my art kind of thing? Oh, I will be done with my current big project at the end of January, but I'm gonna need something else to work on Mondays. I think what I might do, unless someone has a better idea, I am going to go through my stack of used sheets of UArt paper and do something in pastels. It's sort of like what I'm doing here. Something loose, kind of unplanned, only in soft pastels. I feel like I need some more frondy bits over here, you know? Don't want Moody to look like he's on top. Too opaque, you know? Does that make sense? He needs to be quite transparent. I'm gonna get that out. Well, the dark indigo might be good, because I'm feeling like this needs some darker values. So let's do that. There we go. Moody's starting to look better now. Some more shadows on the roots. Let me think for a minute. If the light's coming down there, then I might need a little cast shadow to make this look a little more connected. I feel like I've kind of misplaced the shadows over there. So now I'm trying to correct that a little bit. Coming along. That's indigo. Juniper. And then there's aubergine. So here's juniper. This one, it's funny because it looks so light. And this is honestly much darker. Is that the color I used? Yeah. Come back through and emphasize these lines again. Darken up Moody's ears just a little. Do something with that funky thing. Oops. Kind of messed up the eye a little bit there. That's all right. There's kind of the start of another one right there behind him. Bring that color down just a little bit into this white area, especially on the shadow side. I find that helps. I think what I'm gonna do now, get Moody, and I might not go over him again with water at this point, since it seems to take off more than it adds. Let's hint at a second one right here. I feel like I need to bring that down. There we go. Yep, happy with that. All right, I am relatively pleased. I might try and do a little darker edges to the fern leaves, or leaflets. What have I got here? Green gray. How does that look? It's kind of getting me a look I kind of envisioned. It's more or less a kind of a wonky outline. Yeah. I like how that one kind of goes bluer towards the point, and that more or less an indistinct leaf shape. All right, I'm gonna call that good on the pencil portion. I have one last thing to show you. So, bleed proof white. This stuff is amazing. And I have a little detail brush here. Anywhere I want a bright white, even try and make Moody's eyes a little brighter. Add tiny spots to the second one. Add some little hairs. Yeah, kind of like that. All right, my friends, if you enjoyed this, let me know down in the comments. The whole thing, you know what to do. And I will see you next week. Now it's your turn. Go make some art.